Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Clean Meats. Here with a giant pod today. We have the normal crew of Steve, Abby, myself, Rashida, but we got Corbin back on, we got Chantel back on, and we have the closest thing to my 𝐂𝐥𝐞𝐚𝐧 doppelganger, Tim Reynolds, on, who we're continuously confused for one another. How's it
Tim
going,
just needs
guys?
glasses.
I know. That's the only reason. This is the Clark Kent move, where people can only tell us apart if I'm wearing glasses or something.
Yeah.
But rather than ask how everyone's doing, because there's so many of us, we're just going to get right into it. Today, we're going to do another draft. We're going to, for those who watched the first episode, we're going to do the same format. We're all going to draft our favorite hymns. So the stipulation being, you need to be comfortable doing this in a song service. I think that's the only criteria, because I think some of us are pulling from different hymnals, different backgrounds in terms of where we went to church. So rather than make it like religious songs the way we did for our second pod, this is hymns or music that would be in a song service at church. Doing our top favorite ones, 3 each. We're going to snake draft it as we normally do. So the first thing we have to do is decide on the order, which I will do right now with the randomizer. Last time we did this, it didn't make me look good because I got first pick, which made no one trust me. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm not gonna get my favorite hymn, quite honestly, because I'm last. I'm picking 7th.
Okay.
The order for the song draft is Corbin number 1,
Nice.
Abby number 2, Tim 3, Chantel 4, Rashida 5, Steve 6, and I'm 7th.
So I do get to snipe you.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you might snipe 2 out of my 3 at this rate, because Chantel basically said if she goes before me, she's gonna pick what she thinks is my favorite. So that makes it interesting. As the host, I'm for all like as much chaos as we can possibly get on this show. So, to start off, we will go right into it with Corbin. Corbin, what is your favorite hymn?
All right. Well, I'm going to go with "O God of Every Nation."
Okay.
Reason being is that it's always relevant, with whatever time period you're in, that you're always going to have this conflict between like seeing all the wars all around us and trusting in peace and stuff like that. I heard it as the last song to end a Feast of Tabernacles one time, and there's another one that's usually done that I'm sure someone's going to pick, and it wasn't that hymn to close out the feast. It was "O God of Every Nation." It just kind of put an end cap to the feast of like, what this is. We're trusting in bombs and showers and stuff like that, but we're trying to make way for eternal peace and stuff like that. And so it's nice harmonies, but really deep, meaningful words. And so "O God of Every Nation" is going to be what I'm going to start off with.
Okay. Actually, Corbin, didn't he get... No, he didn't get the first feast tradition.
Yeah, I thought you did, Corbin.
Yeah, did.
Too,
Yeah, you started us off last time. It's a tradition now. Okay. I'm gonna have to keep a record of these while we're doing it, because I'm not gonna be able to, off the top of my head, keep track of 21 different songs. So, Abby, what's yours?
Yeah, my first pick, I'm glad I got to go second because I really like this one, but I thought maybe other people would pick it. It's "One Faith, One Love." I have
Yep. Of course, Ted,
That's the one.
I love this one. I grew up going to Church of the Great God, so I think then they either used like an old worldwide hymnal, or maybe they like changed a few songs. I don't actually know. But then coming over to United when I was a kid, this hymn, like over time, this is not in the old Church of the Great God hymnal. So this hymn over time now has become one that I really love. I especially like singing it at Holy Days. It's really pretty with a big group of people. It's got this beautiful melody, and it's so much fun to sing together in a large group of brethren gathered. So yeah. That's my first one.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
You were going to get sniped, Dane, because if Chantel or Abby didn't pick it, I was going to pick it.
It's also just an objectively beautiful song. Like, I actually think it might be one of my 3 or 4 favorite songs, period, of any type of all time. Yeah. I think it's just so well constructed lyrically, melodically.
Shout out to the bass line. That bass line is nice.
Yeah.
Vocal line, I should say. The bass vocal line is nice.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's got
say,
some like a big split harmony at the end. It's really pretty.
yeah, hard to sing if you're the tenor.
Oh,
That's a tough one. But yeah, I love the meaning of the words as well. It's one of the few pieces of music that can bring me to tears, and it's something that my mom cannot get through it without crying. Like, not possible. So
shout out, Mom.
I'm glad that went early. Okay, Tim. Tim is number 3. What do you got?
I got actually just a comment on that song. The first time I really remember singing that, I know I'd sung it before, but the first time I remember was visiting 𝐂𝐥𝐞𝐚𝐧 for the Feast of Tabernacles for the first time. And that was sung on the last great day. And it just felt so meaningful in that context, being a guest there and having a great time too.
Cool.
My picks are basically, my criteria is what are the closest hymns to metal.
Yes.
So that filters a few. My first pick is But As For Me, I'll Call on God.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Which it's thinking sound first, like it borrows a lot from the harmonic minor. So for anyone who's like a music theory nerd, you know what that means.
Look at Tim bringing in music theory into the...
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And just the theme is all about betrayal and holding fast to God in the midst of that, and basically the doom and demise of your enemies. So
it's
very cool.
I thought it was a bit when you're like, oh yeah, I'm closest to metal, and then that's
No, he's serious.
He's serious for this. Okay.
It's one of the few minor songs in the hymnal, and it's a cool. I like the third stanza. That melody is really cool.
Man, your memories are ridiculous. Third stanza. I like the third stanza. Okay, Chantel, over to you.
Okay, so my top is, there are multiple versions of The Lord is My Shepherd. I adore this song, but specifically in the UCG hymnal, hymn 13 is my favorite. It's the one with the descant, and it is just beautiful. And when people sing all of the different parts in the service at the same time, it's just like it gives you tingles down your spine. And Psalm 23 is just an amazing psalm anyways. It's just such a encouraging reminder that God's there no matter what. And I love that one.
I just realized, I probably should have said this in the intro, but everyone on this call is like very distinctly musical, which I didn't realize. This podcast, we're doing it on Zoom, breaking the fourth wall here. Everyone in some way, shape, or form has been involved in music for a long time. And random aside, Rashida, you were saying, when you mentioned the Stella Adler School in the last episode we did you say you went there?
No. I did not. No, I was just mentioning Marlon Brando's time there. Yeah.
Because I saw De Niro in a movie the other night. And I'm like, wait a minute, did Rashida say she went there as well? Little inside reference for the pod. Okay, speaking of Rashida, though, it is her turn to pick her favorite.
Okay, so I'm going to pick my top one is going to be, there's alternate titles. So I know it is Cleanse Me, but it's also called Search Me, O God by J.F. Lord. It's really beautiful. I actually learned that the melody is actually an old Maori tune that he heard in New Zealand, and then he just kind of put the words of Psalm 139 to it. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and every time it is sung, I don't know, it kind of moves me. So it's one of my top favorites. And then knowing that it comes from another beautiful folk tune from the Maori tribe, it's gorgeous. So that's definitely my number one.
I tend to like a lot of the hymns that borrow from existing melodies. And I always thought it was funny because, of course, One Faith, One Love is Finlandia. And the first time I heard the lyrics to Finlandia, which, Finland's national anthem, it is kind of the funniest national anthem because the whole point of the lyrics are, hey, other nations are just as good as we are, which I think is a nice sentiment, but just so you wouldn't expect to hear that in a national anthem.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And Rashida, given your background, you're also less familiar with like the worldwide hymnal and the offshoot hymnals, right? And like Dwight Armstrong hymns and stuff. So you'll probably be coming at this from a different lens as well.
Yeah. So what happened? A lot of the people in our independent congregation came from worldwide. So they basically compiled their own hymn book using their favorites. And they're like, oh, we can choose our favorites now. And so then they put it in. Also, they changed some words that they may have disagreed with, and also took like I think. We have two. We have a blue one and a red one, and everyone has like their beef on which one they like the most. But the blue one has things like "Shine, Jesus, Shine," like more like contemporary, like 90s words of songs, is kind of notated. And my favorite is the red, but still, we have so many different things. So we have like every hymn that you guys have said, I'm familiar with, but it may be from a different title. Like I remember coming to the CGN retreat, and I'm like, I don't think I know this song. I was standing next to Chantal. I'm like, help me, I don't think I know this. But as soon as I heard the melody, I'm like, oh, the title's just different. So still in the same vein and wavelength, but it may be different titles.
Very cool. I love the exercise of being able to pick your favorites and compile your own. Me and my brother and my dad did that one Sabbath afternoon. We just like got glasses of wine. Like, okay, what are our favorite hymns? Like, if we had to make our own, what is this? It was a lively debate.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good.
So, Steve, as long as you're not smashing it on Uncrustable still,
what's
your selection?
Yeah, I finished my Uncrustable beforehand. Yeah. So, didn't want to be like, sneaking bites over here on the side. Yeah. So my second, and this is actually number 2 for me. So I'm not going to snipe you, Dan, because I thought about just sniping you for the sake of sniping you, but I was like, I'm not going to do it. I know what you're going to pick. It's number 3, but my number 2's here, so I'm going to follow my big board. And it's interesting because this song I didn't really know until I moved down here to Maryland and I was doing more stuff here with United, and then I was like, oh, this song's awesome. And I'm like, why have I never sang this before? And I went back, for those who know that we kind of grew up independent too, we still have the old 93 worldwide hymnal. And I was like, is this song in here? And sure enough, it is. We just never sang it because we never had a recording of it. And I am talking about "My Shepherd Will Supply My Need." Oh, it's such another beautiful melody. And I don't think it's a traditional, but it's just a gorgeous song. I heard it a couple times here locally, and I'm like, why have I never sang this song before? The song's too good to not be not sang. And so it needs to be sung all the time. So that is my first pick. Well, no, that's not true. I think I've sung it a few times at like UCG services, but yeah, we're at the mercy of what do you call it? At the mercy of the song recordings we have downloaded on the church iPod. Yeah. So the thing is too, like when I jump on Zoom with you guys, I have found the recording and I will play it for us when we do our little New York Zoom and with people all over the place. So I have tried to integrate it as much as I can because I do love this song. So Dan, you now have your second pick. Okay. So
now I'm curious. Do you know what my second pick is?
100%. Of course I do. Want me to say it?
Yeah.
It's Praise You, the Lord the Almighty. Nope. Oh, man. Okay.
Nope, it's not.
You're going to be so it's not. Because you're doing
that's going to be my second pick.
Yeah, there we go. All right. There you go.
Yeah. So my first pick was One Faith, One Love, which everyone clearly knew going into this. But In Thy Loving Kindness is my second.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the one we do at Passover every year as tradition. Psalm 51 is one of my favorite passages in all of Scripture. And I just think that they did such a good job putting music to it. It's one of the most meaningful songs. It's very somber but meaningful. Like far and away my second favorite. But my third, since I'm on the turn, the last pick, one of the benefits of the last pick is we're doing a snake draft, so last goes first now, is the other one is going to be Praise Ye the Lord the Almighty, which I'm not a metal fan, but Tim, I feel like that's got some pretty intense parts of that song. That could translate into other genres.
You could adapt that. Yeah, it could work.
But there's just, I think for that one, Praise the Lord the Almighty, it's more the music end of it. I mean, the words are great, but it's the way it crescendos, and especially when you sing it with a large crowd. Like, let the amen sound from his people again. Like when you get a lot of people singing that, like it make you want to run through a wall. Like that's an intense feeling when you're around a lot of brethren singing that. So those are my two. In Love and Kindness, and Praise You the Lord the Almighty. I got worried for a second when Steve said the other one because I'm like, oh no, now someone's going to steal it. But I'm going twice in a row.
Yeah, so you're good.
Right. But so now it's Steve's turn again.
Yeah, on Praise You the Lord the Almighty too. Shout out to our good friend Nate Forrester. Because he's one of those guys where his voice just soars above everybody else, and I'm specifically on that song, I will always hear his voice when he sings Amen. So shout out to Nate on that. I think of him when I sing that song. Mm-hmm. All right, so my second pick is a personal favorite, and it's interesting because I don't know if people have noticed this, that when they go to different congregations of different groups, if they're just doing recordings, everyone has a slightly different take on the tempo specifically. Mm-hmm. So one of the things, and I love this song because we grew up with like the Ambassador Chorale version of this particular song, and it's faster, so it feels like a faster waltz. It's a 3/4 tune, and that is "The Heavens God's Glory Do Declare." And yeah, it's a Dwight Armstrong.
You sniped my third.
Good right there.
I'm glad I'm not the only one being victimized here by other people.
And the thing is, like, it's funny because I love that song. I loved it when it's faster, and then I listened to. Sorry, United. I listened to the tempo of that song, and it's way too slow. It's almost impossible to do in a song service because it just drags way too much. When it's faster, it's great, and it's a fantastic tune, and that's why it's on there for me. So, Heaven's God's Glory Do Declare.
Can I just comment on that? So, when you like in Living, all the recordings are way faster than United or 𝐂𝐥𝐞𝐚. And so, like, going over to the other churches, I'm just like, man, this just feels so, I'm used to the higher tempo. And then Chantel is running out of breath because she's like, this feels like a workout trying to keep up with it.
I'm just imagining Tim in the audience being like J.K. Simmons from Whiplash, like, not my tempo. Didn't Living just what was that, Corbin?
Oh, I just want to make a comment that I have a potential solution for this. So in the working on the hymnal app, I'm starting to use MIDI data for the hymns, and that gives you the ability to choose your tempo, your key, your whatever like that. So
that's cool.
Soon you can then choose, if you are in a congregation without a piano player, you could then use this app to say, okay, have it be this tempo and key change at the end, yes or no, last verse and stuff like that. And I'm attempting to make like a multi-cog hymnal with all of them that'll say like, okay, it's this hymn, you might know it by this title, this number, and this one, but like this is the song you want.
Nice.
Go ahead and play it. You'll be able to have the data recording of it, so you can play it whatever key, whatever tempo you want. So it's in the works. So
that's awesome. Key thing is such a major thing.
What was that?
Changing keys, like that is so helpful, especially because like so many hymns, they're wonderful, but I know that, at least if you're a female singer, like a lot of them end really high, and it's so like if you're gonna sing the melody line, and it's even hard for some people who are like, oh, I want to sing this lower, but then I have to make like this big jump. So that's very helpful.
Yeah.
There are like a million things there. So the first thing is, that's awesome, Corbin. We gotta talk offline about that project. That's a cool one. And are you saying the one you're trying to get to enable to change keys and things like that, is that the UCG one? You're making some tweaks to that?
Initially, and then once that's all set, then I'm going to make the multi-cog one with as many as I can get the copyright go ahead for.
Yeah. And are you saying you could even add like modulations at the end?
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Okay. Certain things though, it is funny. Like if you the song's hard to sing, let's change the key. Sometimes the entire song sounds different if you break it down. Like I can't imagine, I don't know, like One Faith, One Love in A or something. Just going to sound like a completely different tune. Yeah. But Rashida, it is your turn. What is your second favorite hymn?
Okay, so it's a bop. I love it. It's I Am Resolved. And I also love the vocal bass line on this one. Anyway, but I love it because it's just kind of this song of unwavering commitment to Christ and saying, I'm going to hasten to him and find joy in serving him daily. So I absolutely adore it. And again, it is a banger. So every time our pianist chooses it, I'm like, yes, it's a good day today.
Nice. Right. And isn't she professional? No. I thought she was. She was very good. She like stood
she's
out.
amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's classically trained, but hates that she's classically trained because she likes jazz and, no, she's incredible. She's incredible. She just doesn't know it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Chantel, what is your second favorite?
Okay, I feel like I keep going back and forth because I'm like, I've so many different ones. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go with "Be Now My Vision."
Okay, good
I
one.
Classic.
love that one. I feel like it's just melodically so stunning, and then just the words. It's such a good reminder that God is our pillar and should be our focus throughout all of the craziness in life, and just singing it together is just, I love that one so much.
Do you guys have a big board off camera that you're looking at?
Chantel has 16 hymns, like on a giant note.
I have 32
over here. Yeah,
Yeah.
32.
Oh, I love it. I love the big board, the big board phenomenon here. Love it. Fun fact: "Be Thou My Vision" is the only song I've ever done for special music. People
Really?
think, people are like, "Oh, you play music, you should do special music." Like I don't do it that often. I've only done it once, and it was me and my friend Jenny, and we rearranged it so that it was all jazz chords. She was she was trained as a jazz singer, and so we just made them all major sevenths and minor sevenths and everything. And I'm probably the only person to play a Stratocaster through a tube amp for special music. But Tim, speaking of breaking cultural norms, Tim, what's your metal hymn number 2?
This one is "Be Not Afraid" by Sonia King, another minor tune, and just talking about God's grandeur in the midst, or in contrast to all the things that might make us fearful or afraid. And just the tune is beautiful, dark melody.
That's a melody. That's a metal one for sure.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, Abby, what's your second favorite?
My second pick is one that is it's a personal one. I hope it's like a niche kind of like one that people don't think about very often. It's "Turn, O God, and Save Me." It was early on. Yeah, it was early on in the, I think, Church of the Great God hymnal. It's kind of still early in the My United hymnal that I'm sitting here looking at, flipping through. And I have just a particular memory with this. So when I was a very small kid, probably like a toddler, and I would have trouble sleeping, my dad used to sing this particular hymn to me while he was like putting me to sleep. So I've had it memorized since before I knew most other music. And so it just has a very personal thing. I don't know why he picked this one. The words are very sad and dark, and the melody's also very sounds more minor. It's from Psalm 6. That's where it's taken from. So it's kind of a dark hymn, but I don't know. I love it. It makes me think of my dad, and my dad's got this really beautiful voice. It's where I get my singing ability from. So I don't know. It's personal and makes me happy.
That's a good aside. Let's park there for a second. Does everyone have at least one song that one of their parents sang to them as a kid?
Do we?
Oh, I have 2. All right.
Oh, you're talking about hymns or just songs in general?
No. Just songs in general.
Oh, okay.
Oh, songs in general.
Songs in general.
Like
you have a hymn
hymns for sure. Oh yeah. My mom sang "How Lovely Are Thy Dwellings" to me.
Okay.
That was a big
I
one.
remember you telling me that before. That's a good one.
Tim's getting sung "Be Not Afraid."
Now, my dad did a mashup of "Rockabye Baby" and "Home on the Range," so that's
classic.
That's the level we were at. So,
How about Corbin? Did you have one?
There was lots of songs. Yeah, I'm not able to recall too many. I don't know specific hymns necessarily, but there might have been just silly songs, or they might have just changed the words to some other tune just to make it fit to whatever the present circumstance was. My family was very quick, witty, stuff like that. So just
shocker.
On the fly.
Now we know why Corbin is the way he is.
Yeah. Rashida, did you have any songs that your parents would sing?
So my mom just makes a joyful noise, so she didn't attempt to. My dad used to sing "Why Worry" by Dire Straits to me every night.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was his
Mark
lullaby.
Knopfler, let's go.
So
Yeah.
Rashida has such a hip family. It's not even funny. Oh, this like B-side Dire Straits song is what my dad would sing to me at night.
That sums up my dad in the tiniest nutshells. Yeah, so that was
great.
his choice.
Yeah. Steve, I mean, you got to remember it was "You're My Sunshine" from Mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
My mom
remember
did
You Are My
that too.
Sunshine. I don't know if Dad would sing this to us, but because the album came out around the time I think I was born. But and I remember, and for some reason I just remember hearing this a lot as a kid. And then it's Kenny Loggins' version of All the Pretty Little Ponies.
Oh.
I don't think does Dad know that one?
Yeah, it's off of Return to Pooh Corner.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I know he knows of it. I don't remember him singing it. He would sing Danny Boy to me, which makes sense.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Why does
Stevie
everybody's
Boy.
mom choose "You Are My Sunshine"? Stevie Boy.
So,
My
You Are
mom
My
did "You Are My
Sunshine's a banger.
Sunshine" too. So it's funny, when I was a kid, I used to
verse.
find that song like really disturbing. Like my mom would sing it and I'd be like, don't sing. I found it really sad and
It
it
is
would
a
make
sad
me
song.
tear up
It
and
is a
cry.
sad song,
It
yeah.
is. And then what's funny now is that, I mean, for your knowledge, I'm sure everybody knows this, but I'm music therapy wise, that is like the song for geriatrics. Everybody who's like old at all knows that song.
Aw.
It was a song I play now multiple times a day because everybody knows it. Everybody can sing to it, which is great. It's funny to me because I'm like, yeah, I used to hate this song when I was a kid. So now I sing it all the time.
There's so many good versions of it, too. Ray
Yeah.
Charles has a great version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite.
Oh, Brother Art Thou.
Yeah, Oh Brother Art Thou. I think that might be the best one, at least in my opinion. But speaking of best ones, or at least second best ones, Corbin, what's your second pick?
All right. Before I get into that, an aside about metal, my former roommate and I did a metal cover of "Be Not Afraid." I'll send you the link
That's
to that.
awesome.
And just now at the home office, so I'm working on a kids educational app, Jelly app, and I am using 8-bit versions of hymns as the background music for the app.
Yeah.
So we used AI to like take this hymn and make it sound like it's on like an old Nintendo video game, and
That's
it does,
awesome.
and it is so catchy. I will send you guys the link.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you gotta
awesome.
send that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I
So
don't know if I
Jelly
can play it on
visits
call
the
or
mosh
not.
pit. Is that
Just Jelly
Not
screaming.
Afraid is playing?
Gets wild, you know that. Yeah. So some fun stuff. I'll send links after the call, and we can put it in the description of this video.
Yeah,
There we go.
that video of you doing that cover, that's on YouTube, isn't it?
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
okay, I've
Unless it's
seen
gonna
that.
be
That's
way
I
awesome.
saw that years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tim's very excited. I get his face just like exploded joy.
All right. So number 2 for me, I'm gonna go with "God Is a Refuge." You got an old
That's a good
Scottish
one.
psalter, right? So it's best sung while wearing a kilt, you know, and hiking up a mountain. If you can do that while in a Sabbath service. But my memory of that, I was at a Challenger camp back in my teen era, and we would sit around a campfire every night. We'd sing "God Is a Refuge," you know, in a cappella harmony. And so that was like to kind of close the day as we're tired from hiking and stuff like that. And all of us come together on the fire, just these nice harmonies and stuff like that. So that was one of the ones that I had, you know, multiple like the tenor and bass parts memorized for, you know, singing around the campfire with your peers. So that was a good memory. And that song stuck with me ever since. So really nice harmonies. Scottish songs are great. So, and I also then did that as one of our virtual choir numbers back in the COVID era.
Right.
We did "God As a Refuge" there, and I actually had someone in the church that could play bagpipes start off.
Oh, yeah.
I think I remember
the
that.
beginning
Yeah.
of it.
Mhm.
Put some B-roll of like sheep and stuff because it's Scottish. No
The
kilts in the
Scottish-
video, but
The Scottish will take any opportunity to wear a kilt.
yeah, even the sheep. Yeah, it's. They wear cotton ones for some reason, not wool. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder.
yeah.
But Corbin's
So, all right, so
got
that's-
2 now. Corbin's got 2 in a
I
row.
do, I do.
He's got the
All
turn.
right, so there's "God Is a Refuge." I'm going to take a detour from the UCG hymnal now on this one. I'm going to go with "It Is Well." It is well with my soul.
Love that one.
Classic.
There's certain hymns that you get the origin story of the author, right? You know, with like "Amazing Grace" or "It Is Well," right? So, you know, that's I think what makes that powerful. Knowing the story of this guy that lost pretty much everything, and he's like, you know what? It is well with my soul. Kind of the next iteration of the Paul experience, I guess, of like, okay, in whatever circumstance, like I can be content. So after hearing the story of that now, I look at the hymn differently, and it's just like, wow, like, can I sing this as powerfully and passionately as this author? Like, in my relatively great circumstances, can I say, it's well when I face, some hard things. So that's a really nice one. And I think it's cool having the kind of the call and response kind of thing. Not too many hymns have that. And so it's like, it as well, just, getting the different parts going back and forth and stuff like that. So another one that we did as a virtual choir, because it's just, I love the meaning behind it and the power of the words there. So especially during that time too. You know what I mean? During COVID, there were quite a few people I knew in the church who died during that. But no, good choice. I think the Americana hymns have a lot of that, like call and response kind of thing. And okay, so I think Abby, what's your third pick?
Yeah, just a comment on it as well. Nope. Just a a comment on it as well with my soul though. I growing up in the congregation I normally went to at UCG, there was a gentleman there, an older gentleman named Jack, who had this history singing barbershop. And so when I was a teenager, he decided to put together like a barbershop group of young people singing, and he brought all of his music knowledge from his years doing barbershop, and we did a rendition of it as well with my soul, and like a soul in a barbershop arrangement, which was so fun. And it was such a great thing to have him in our congregation and just get that music education. It was very special. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just one of those kind of once in a lifetime, I think, moments. But yeah, that was so fun. And like, we had a pastor at the time who was pretty like, he was pretty like stingy on the kinds of music we sang during church services, and he was pretty strict about it. But Jack could kind of get away with stuff. So we did a lot of like Americana, like popular Christian hymns, and it was just fun because I think all of us young people benefited from that knowledge. So anyway, that brings up a good memory too for me, just something that I love. Jack is a name of my cat. He's named after the guy. Anyway.
Okay.
That's
but,
sweet.
Yeah, he passed away when I was like a young 20-year-old, so I think he was just a good friend of mine. Okay,
Jack,
my last
person also primarily concerned with eating at all times.
No, that's just my cat. My last hymn is "Oh, that men would praise their God." I think for this one, I like the melody, and it's kind of like, it's "Oh, that men would praise," and I don't know, I have fun when I sing it. It's one that I think too. I remember from being a kid, I probably enjoyed it when I was really young singing, and I used to stand up in church and direct with the song leader. Like I used to stand this is like how musical I've been my whole life, but like I used to like stand and like copy the song leader. So anyway, I think that's one of the ones I was just like, I love singing this. It's so much fun. So yeah.
I think "Oh, that men praise their God," when I mentioned about the heavens God's glory to declare it, also applies for "Oh, that men praise their God." I've heard versions of that where it's too slow.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I'm gonna trip if I walk to this. It's so slow. It's just like, it's just so bad. And so when it's done at the right tempo, it's great. And it is a fantastic song. That was on my big board, but a little bit farther down.
All right.
Okay. That's what we should do after. Just compare big boards. Like, oh, where did you rank this one? Yeah.
I would love to do that. I'd be going on for too long though.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so Tim, what is your final choice?
Well, it would have been the heavens God's glory to declare, but my alternate pick is "When Israel Out of Egypt Went."
That's a good one.
And that's one that I don't, at least growing up, we didn't sing a lot, but if you did hear it, it was around the spring holy day time and just recounting the story of Israel coming out of Egypt. It's in the title, but I just love the melody, and I think it's a 3/4 time too, and it's just very lilting and something you can just kind of get lost in and sway to. So it breaks the metal mold a little bit, but that's one of my favorites.
Metal doesn't do 3/4?
Yeah. I don't know about lilting. Do you lilt to metal?
They call it like Beauty and the Beast metal, where there's like a female where she'll do like the pretty lilting, and then she'll go into like, wah! And so like there's a lilt there.
Beauty and the Beast medal. That's funny. Okay, Chantel, what's your final pick?
Okay, I have to do this one. God Be With You. It is just a classic ending of the Feast of Tabernacles song. Or just, just even if you're singing at church, like a regular Sabbath, it's such a meaningful reminder that, like, okay, like, we're gonna be together again soon. Life can be tough, but God's there. We're gonna pray for each other. I don't know. It's very meaningful, and it always makes me cry. Yeah. It really does. This is one of the songs that makes me cry. So I definitely had to choose this one.
Someone needed to choose it. I feel like if no one did, even though it wasn't my next choice, I would probably have to end with it. Although that would have been a little too on the nose, being the final pick.
Yeah.
You have very much a through line of like Americana sounding hymns in yours, which I wasn't sure if that's where you were going to go with it, but
that's definitely, I like folk, I like singer-songwriter in general, so that's kind of more my vibe.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Rashida, close it out with your third.
All right, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to actually go gospel here. So one of my favorite gospel songs that we don't sing often in our congregation, and I think I'm going to change that, but it's called God Specializes, and it was originally written by Roberta Martin, and then the Roberta Martin singers sang it, but also James Cleveland has a recording that's really good. But my all-time favorite recording of it, I think that everyone in the world should listen to it one time. It will change your soul. It's by Liz Wright, and that's Lizzz Wright with a W. Beautiful. And basically it's just saying that God is the antidote to everything, to you suffering through disease. He's who you lean on, and basically that he will be your comfort through every storm that you have to travail through. And it's just glorious. It's a glorious melody. It's beautiful. It's a game changer for me, and it's got me through the darkest of days. And so I think everyone should listen to it at least once. Her recording is powerful. Seriously, I'm telling you, God showed off when he made Liz Wright's voice. Like, he really was like, I'm gonna put a little something special in it. So yeah, please check it out if you have the chance.
First, God Specializes is a great title.
Yeah.
The second thing is, to your point, I was thinking this when Corbin brought up It Is Well. And for me, In Thy Loving Kindness is that way. God, there are certain hymns where circumstance also plays a big role in how powerful it is. Like it's. And also, if you're going through or experiencing something, it could take you out of the frame of mind to appreciate it too. You know what I mean? Like, music is such a powerful thing that when things are lining up, Tim mentioned going to 𝐂𝐥𝐞𝐚 and having a great time and feeling like a guest there, but then hearing One Faith, One Love song, like that's sometimes when things coalesce around a song at the right time, it amplifies it.
Okay. Definitely.
So Steve, your last chance to snipe me again.
Yeah, so I was surprised. Very few of my songs got picked. So now I have like choices. Like, what do I want to just put out there? And what do I want to talk about?
You always got to trust your board, Steve. Don't draft for need.
Yeah, you're right. All right, fine. I am going to trust my board, and I'm going to go with my fifth one, and it's funny because I think one of our good friends who has been on, I think Jonathan Reedy's been on the CGM podcast, so shout out to Jonathan. I think it's one of his favorite tunes too, and that is "Oh Thou the Shepherd of Israel Art." And when done again, up tempo, it is a good song. It's one of those things where if it's a little too slow, again, and that's the theme with some of my songs. You're too slow, and they need it's not my tempo, and we gotta pick it up a little bit. But it's a really nice song. I do like the melody, and there's some nice nice movement in there, and again, two of my three songs have shepherd in it, and so I do like that theme, which is a really good one. So yeah, that is my last pick. "Oh Thou the Shepherd of Israel Art."
I want Chantel to intersperse a clip of J.K. Simmons like, you're dragging whenever Steve talks.
We're cold open farming.
Yeah. And I love cold opens for podcasts. Okay, so now I have to see if I'm going to follow my own advice that I just gave Steve to trust my board, or if I'm going to pick one just because I want to talk about something else. I think all my other ones haven't been picked either. You know what? I'm not going to trust my board. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to my third, because all of these were sort of close. I had an easy top three. My top three: One Faith, One Love, In Thy Loving Kindness, Praise You, the Lord, the Almighty. But all these other ones, there was a bunch that I really liked. Like All Hail the Power, Crown Him with Many Crowns, Oh God, We Have Heard. But I'm gonna go...
Oh my goodness, pick one. You're just naming hymns that are good.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick Save Me, O God, by Thy Great Name.
Yep.
I really like that one. It makes me think of Ricky Garrison, who is a woman in our congregation who I've grown up with. And whenever I would pick it very often when I was leading songs, and she would always make a comment about it. So it makes me think of her, makes me think of the Westchester congregation. And again, there is a couple endings to certain verses that have particularly intense and powerful harmonies, and I love that in the hymn. So I think I'm going to close on that one, something that has some sentimental value.
So I have to say this, Dan. It's too funny that you decided to do that, because I was debating between "O Thou the Shepherd of Israel Art" and Ricky Garrison's favorite hymn, because she would pick it all the time.
Oh yeah,
Holy Mighty Majesty.
Okay.
And so it's funny that she still gets in the podcast. Shout out to Ricky. It's been a long time. But that was one of the other ones I was going to pick. So it's funny that you picked that with a memory of her. That's funny.
Very cool. Yeah, cool coincidence. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. I'm curious, because the part of the point, I mean, number one, this is just fun to do. And I think just drafts inherently are fun. Again, being a little biased as an NFL draft nut. But the issue of music in the Church of God is such a big deal. I think sometimes more than it should be. Like, it's an important thing. It's a powerful thing, but I think people tend to use it as a point of contention. I would be curious to talk for a few minutes just as a group about like your views on music and just it's especially worship wise. I know Tim and Chantel recently did a podcast about it for CGN. Check it out. I guess smash the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode like that, right? That's how you're supposed to do that?
Yes.
Like literally the worst host at reminding people to like and subscribe.
Like, yeah, you don't have to. It's whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
As a brief aside, I've watched a number of podcasts where clearly the hosts are also bad at it. Like they just really like the content they're doing, and so they'll make these pre-done inserts to just put in the middle of the episode, like that's enough out of you, time to remind everyone to like and subscribe, and then go back to the show. But I got it in like the 2/3 mark of the show. But when I think it was Abby, it was Abby talking about certain people who lead congregations being a little bit more hesitant about what to do. I always thought we're peculiar people when it comes to deciding what's appropriate and what isn't. I remember there's a story, and I could tell it because the guy, I won't say the guy's name, but the guy who I'm referring to is the guy who instigated like all the changes in Worldwide. So he's not in the church anymore.
So you now know who he is, most people.
People who are the OGs and know the history of the church do. But I remember my dad telling the story that he gave him flack because he was singing Annie's song at a church dance, and he didn't think it was appropriate. And my dad's like, it's about his wife. And come to find out, the minister's favorite song of all time was Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye, which I think is hilarious. But does anyone, I bet everyone does, since we're all very musical, but as we've picked our top 3 favorite hymns now, like I think people sort of give the hymn book an unnecessary amount of grief. I know there's a bunch that maybe aren't the most melodic. There's also a lot of content in there. It's hard to get 150 plus songs that are all bangers, as Rashida said. But I just want to open it up. Does anyone have did anything come to mind, or what were your reflections like as you sort of picked the songs for this exercise? Maybe I'll shoot it to the Reynolds first, since they're a duo over there.
I think just thinking right now through this conversation and the fun it's been, I think that there's an attitude that can creep up where people sort of poo-poo the COG hymn or the music too. But if you really like sit down and think about it and remember the feelings that you have with it, like there is a lot of feeling and energy that comes with it too. End of thought. I don't really know where else to go there, but it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I love the classic hymns. There's so much nostalgia to me with hymns. One of my favorite things to do though is to go on like Spotify and find different versions of hymns that people have made. Like for example, God Be With You, there's a version you can check out by the Lower Heights. And it's like a beautiful, like kind of folky version. And so I just love hearing classic hymns, but with a different spin on it. And I think that's a lot of fun to be able to kind of almost like breathe new life into something that can maybe feel like repetitive, if you will, if it's like that classic like hymn structure, but you can give it a little bit more of a I don't know, it's like you can just change the tempo a bit, and just that slight tweak just adds this like oomph to something. Plus, I mean, I personally like some of the more newer quote unquote songs. I'd be open to adding things in personally, but I wouldn't want to get rid of hymns. I think that it's one of those things, it's like there's a beauty to tradition. And I think there's a reason that we have traditions and consistency in that front. But like adding some new things is also a good thing too. There's like, you know, sing a new song to the Lord is like a thing for me. So that's kind of where I land.
Yeah. I have another thought just to add that I think I can articulate. I think that when a pastor or whoever's in charge of music at a congregation is a little bit more conservative, you might say, the motivation might be personal taste, but also may be just trying to consider the tastes and the sensitivities that people in the congregation have. And rather than viewing it as an opportunity to be contentious or try to push your own agenda or what you like, and maybe an opportunity to just submit to one another. Too.
Completely agree. And I think that's sort of what I, without coming out and saying it, wanted to maybe talk about a bit, which is the idea that a lot of people, and it's not, I would say it's not only is it not just leadership, I think it's not usually leadership that makes music the issue, that it becomes a point of contention when we have such bigger problems to deal with in the church, or bigger things to consider, like submitting one to another. And I think part of what it comes down to, like you said, in terms of preference or taste, is sometimes and people do this with all kinds of music. I feel this way, and you know, Abby's gonna jump all over me because I'm like an old person with my music taste. But like people will just lament. I remember to choose two sides of both sides of the music I like. I remember watching a documentary where Jackson Browne and Bonnie Raitt were talking about how much they disliked surf music, like the Beach Boys. And I'm like, don't disrespect the Beach Boys. Like, don't put everything in the same category. Like, there's a lot of dumb surf music back in the day. But it's the idea that I think sometimes people get bored with a category, or they associate a type of music with a type of person or something else in their life, and it's negative for them. So they throw the whole thing out. Instead of, and I've been in conversations where there seems to almost be like an animosity towards the hymns or something, which I don't get. And so instead of, like you said, Tim, using it as an example to submit one to another or to appreciate different forms of art, which is what it is, and you don't have to like all of them, but hopefully that's what we got at today, where here's some of our absolute favorites. Like whenever they come on, it means something to us. I know a lot of the ones that didn't make it onto the list for me are very much nostalgia. Like I could see myself where I was for the Holy Day service in White Plains when I was like 10 years old, singing that song with the congregation. And that's a very powerful force for people. So I appreciate you bringing that up, man. Anyone else have any comments? Abby was going to say something probably directed at me. So
No, well, maybe, I don't know. But I have so many. This is like a great thing. I'm so glad Chantel and Tim did a little bit like talking about just the music that you like to hear in church and things like that. I think that that's a great. This is like this is something I've always wanted to talk about more because I'm very musical, but I've in my own experience, I had a lot of run-ins with leadership about music. I'm a little bit in enemy territory. I'm more progressive. So my opinion on music, I think, is that I love tradition. I respect it. I love the hymns and the hymnal. I've never like thought, oh, we should get rid of them. I'm bored of them. I think they're great. I think there's a lot to be said about nostalgia in music. There's the population of people that I work with for music therapy, nostalgia is very important and tradition is very important. However, I think that in considering your listening audience for hymns, I think what I have experienced in my own life is that maybe as a church body, and maybe this is more prevalent in certain bodies than others, I think we lean very heavily on tradition, and I think we lean sometimes very heavily on intellectualizing things. I think sometimes we're a group as a whole that's afraid to feel things, and because I think secular Christianity does that too much. Like they lean too much on feeling things, and they don't lean enough on the truth of what we're preaching and talking about in doctrine. So I think there's a balance somewhere, but I particularly feel like with music, that is your like area where feeling, you can't divorce that from music. Like music is very emotionally charged. And so and I think that's maybe the core of the issue, is that we sometimes as a body of people don't know how to balance, like how to think about things in truth and make sure that we stick to that, but also how to tie in our emotionality with that and to have that spirit element of like, yeah, I really have this emotional, personal connection, and I will allow myself to feel things and be empathetic and be open to change as well. Because again, I don't think that being stagnant, and I love tradition and I think it's very important, but I don't think that being stagnant is always the way forward. So I don't know. I think it's like a huge topic, and you'd have to talk about a lot of maybe more fundamental things with church bodies. But that's my thought. I don't know, generally.
Well, I think it comes down to, I don't think human beings are very well adjusted in general on that front, emotionally and intellectually. I think it's just I think it's a human problem that you're seeing manifested in the church the same way it is everywhere else. Because for me, I never understood the perceived dichotomy between the, like, if you're letting emotion lead your thinking, you're gonna get into trouble. If you think emotion is wrong, like the way you think leads to emotion. Like I don't know how you can divorce yourself from that process. And I know for me, like, in thy loving kindness was just a hymn until I lived for a bit. Then it means something, because now the intellectual understanding has an emotion attached to it, because I can feel what that means, and as well as understand it. One faith, one love changes throughout time. And I think, secular songs are the same thing. There's a song you might have heard a million times, and then you live for a bit, you go through some experiences, and all of a sudden there's an emotion attached to that, which is very much your own. And I think if we're all pursuing scripture first, if we're trying to live in reality and pursue God's truth first, the emotions will be level set by that. Like then you feel as a part of it. Part of truth is everything scripture says about how we should feel towards one another. A lot of those commands about how we treat each other involve feeling, about how we look at each other, about benefit of the doubt, bearing all things. Those are all feeling orientations, but that are rooted in the understanding, like, the truth is I should feel this way about my brother in Christ, my sister in Christ. So yeah, I agree. There shouldn't be that kind of either or. Rashida, Steve, Corbin, anyone else want to jump in with thoughts?
I do have something, but no, Rashida, you can go.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was a beautiful way to kind of marry pathos and logos and how they can move forward together. But I guess it's very interesting experience in our home fellowship, because again, it's a home fellowship, so we kind of have leeway and leniency. And we have some that are very tied to tradition, and some who are like, I want to sing a new song. I've sung all of these hymns thousands of times, and I want to express in a different way. And also being a very multicultural home fellowship. I mean, we have Black, white, Indian, Asian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, like everyone's there. So we're kind of like a rainbow coalition of people with different backgrounds and how we praise. And so what we've done actually is we have two worship services. I think you actually experienced this, Dan, when you were here. Yeah. We have our traditional hymn service, and then we also have a praise and worship service. And no one minds. It's like, okay, great. And then also we're learning that a lot of the people who are more strident and stringent in tradition, they're like, hey, as long as the words of the praise and worship music, as long as it's abiding with the word and it's not blasphemous or it's not expressing lies about who Christ is in the gospel, that, hey, I'm fine. As long as the lyrics are sound, great. And they're biblical, fantastic. So we found this nice even keel between both the more traditionalists and the more progressive, which is nice. But I will say it has helped, I don't know, kind of bridge the gaps of experience between everyone, which is kind of beautiful. So I guess people are kind of learning, hey, everyone has their way of praising. Like it's also kind of helped a few of the cultural shifts and awareness, where even we were talking about this in a Bible study not too long ago, that I'll speak for myself here, but actually being an American Black woman, okay, instead of seeing it as a source of pride as maybe other people in the community may view it as, I see it as a way to kind of experience different experiences in life. Like in this body, I'm going to learn lessons that someone who's like a Scandinavian man maybe will not learn, and vice versa. And so I take pleasure in that. I take honor in that. And I believe that those lessons can be helpful to someone else. So it kind of goes back to serving through conversion. So with music, I think there's also this kind of learning curve that the more traditional people in our congregation are like, oh, wow, this is actually a beautiful way to view God. And this is a beautiful way to sing to God. And actually, this is making me feel some kind of way. And I'm still attached to that logo, sticking to the word as well, because it's scripturally sound. But okay, this is beautiful. So we're kind of learning one another in a very lovely way. So I think that comes with having that leniency.
I do think your congregation's a really good example of people trying to work together across very different, and not only just cultural things, but generational. You guys have a leadership gap after your father passed, and that's a tough thing to navigate, and you guys are trying to do it the best you can and are prioritizing each other. So I always admire that about your group. And to your point as well, I think I was thinking this both when you were talking, when Abby was talking, that there should be both the emphasis, the rigorous emphasis on truth and an emotional component to it for every aspect of what we do. Like I want that in the message. I don't want to be, I tell you, if I go someplace where someone's just shouting the whole time and trying to stir up an emotion, I will get mad. Like I hate that. So you don't want to like stirring up emotion for the sake of stirring up emotion, I think is actually manipulative. But I want, when I do my study, I have an emotional response, and I think that's the way it should be when we're called. And I want to know, even if it's not my particular favorite subject or something I've looked into, I want when a fellow speaker gets up there and gives a message, I want to see that he is immersed in the topic, that he loves it, and that he's pumped about it. Even if it's not my thing, like I'll get more interested knowing that this guy thinks this is of great value. So we don't want to neuter these things as well, and just wind up going through the motions. Because tradition for tradition's sake, I'm actually not a big fan of. I think man-made tradition can get quite ridiculous and separate us from truth. I happen to be seen as more traditional because my tastes line up in that frame of reference, but I just think stuff like One Faith, One Love's a better song. I just don't musically like the other things. But Steve, what were you going to add?
Yeah, it's interesting because I have a few different things, and hopefully I could kind of tie it in together. But on that last point you just said, I think that's an important thing, is there are times, at least in my experience, and I do want to highlight my experience because listening to everybody, it seems like people have had different experiences with this, and people approach it differently. So like Rashida, listening to your congregation sounds like a really great way of coming together, because this is going back to what Dan and Tim were talking about like 10 minutes ago. The idea that plenty of times what happens, people come in, they don't want to sing the hymns anymore, and they want to force things on people. And it's almost like they don't understand, where it's like, music is inherently subjective in terms of likes and dislikes, right? We talk about art, right? I can listen to metal and be like, this is not my thing. Sorry, Tim. But I can listen to like soul music and other kinds of things and really like that. And then I can listen to modern Christian music and I go, please, my ears are bleeding, stop, right? It's like there are certain things that it's just like, some people don't like certain things. And sometimes it almost feels like people want to push things on both sides, right? Like there's this theory that people don't want to change tradition for tradition's sake, right? Which is not good, because right, Christ told the Pharisees that, right? Like you're doing these things again, and really, and instead of following the way of Christ, which is kind of what's happening in some cases, right? Is people are saying, no, we're not doing that, and not like being loving and saying, let's just try a couple of things, right? Because if one person's not liking the traditional hymns and we do new stuff to accommodate those people, there's gonna be some people who don't like it. So it's like, just play a little bit on both sides. So there's a lot of that too, where I think it's just a matter of like, you know what, let's just try something. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? But I think for everybody, it's kind of understanding this idea, because in a couple cases, people kind of approach it as like, oh, well, my music's inherently better than this. And I'm like, no, that's not true, because like music is not inherently better than the other. It's your taste, right? And I think that's an important thing to know, specifically with services, because you want to try to have the widest appeal and for a congregation, given that we all have different circumstances, but that also goes back to mindset, right? Is that I can have a different mindset in listening to songs and coming together. And sometimes people also, this is my last point, Dan, and I know you want to respond, but sometimes it almost feels like too, where people try to force everything into the church service. And I'm like, you do have 22 other hours of the Sabbath, right? Like you have a lot of other time. And then that's just one day. You have other 6 days where you can praise God in any way that you, I don't want to say see fit, but right, that in to the best of your knowledge is part of that. And so sometimes it's like, you know what, why is this battle like worth me fighting over when I have all these other hours in a week where I can implement this in my life? And for the people who around me want to do this, like, let's do that. Because sometimes we focus so heavily on the service that we kind of lose out that, like, you know, our conversion is not one 24-hour period each week. So I think that's something that we should all be thinking about too, and how we can better incorporate our journeys throughout the entire week, and not just like 2 hours on Sabbath and maybe the half hour before and after that maybe we're fellowshipping with people. So
like I love Godspell, the movie soundtrack.
Yes.
But
sorry, Chantel,
not the musical soundtrack. That one's different. But like I'll put that on to on the Sabbath, like on Friday evening. But I wouldn't want to sing "Prepare You the Way of the Lord" in a Sabbath service. And
you don't have a drummer in Saratoga though, Dan, too, right. So you can't do it anyway.
But the other thing, to your point, Steve, people do that with mainstream, like in the world with mainstream music as well. It's like an inherent personal thing where people our age will listen to the Everly Brothers and go, "Oh, this is old and therefore bad." And I'm like, you no, like I will not hear Everly Brothers slander. And then secondarily, there's the other side who listen to new music, like, oh, this is awful. Listen to the content. Music was better in X period of time. And I go, I love Conway Twitty. You ever listen to his words? It's horrible. Like horrible. It might be country music from the 60s, but man, is it bad lyrics. So like, just be consistent, I think is one of the end goals here. Corbin, why don't you close us out as someone who's been in this combo for a while?
I think music is designed to be powerful and have a connection. I think that's a lot of people can take their musical preferences and make it doctrine and you know, unwittingly cause some division on that. You know, I have some people that say, well, some of these traditional hymns, they were written by Trinitarians centuries ago, and so they're from that perspective. Can we take that and just take out this verse and like have it say, well, the words that are still here are true, and I can be comfortable singing this? Or, if there's a new Christian group out there that's mainstream, it's like, well, they have some weird doctrines, but is the music itself acceptable and stuff? And so you have a lot of those concerns as well. But I think that God made people very diverse, and God understands prayers in every languages. He understands lots of musical variety. You have someone who can praise God if they are growing up in a remote tribe in Africa and they have some cool drum thing that's what they're doing to praise God. Okay, like that's what their vessel is. That's what their culture is. That's how they can express to God, and God understands all that different variety there. So I mean, there's some Christian rap songs I really like, and that's not something that everyone likes. But again, if that's something that I can see, the words are legit. Shout out to a lot of Lecrae songs, where it's like, here's some meaningful lyrics put in a way that kind of makes you bob your head, but like you can feel the intent of the artist, trying to connect to God or talk about the struggle, and in a way that, like, dare I say it, like Lecrae is a modern, Davidic Psalms, where it's like, hey, this is life, this is tough, but you know what, we gotta keep trusting God, kind of thing. So
I'm now imagining a Tribe Called Judah. Tribe Called Quest cover band, just all Christian lyrics. I want that now so bad. Dude, that's a great point though, Corbin, and I think a good way to close it out, because I think we need to be prioritizing people's issues of conscience as well. You know what I mean? Like if people have an issue saying this new song was written by people who hold these beliefs, and even if the words are right, I feel uncomfortable with that. Or this old Americana hymn, which is hundreds of years old, written by Trinitarian, I feel uncomfortable singing that. While we might think, that's a bit much, Scripture is pretty clear that for someone who holds those views, even if it's on something that makes them weak in the faith to us, that the impetus is on us to acquiesce to them, to serve and say, you know what, if all we can do are these list of hymns in our congregation because this person has a moral a conundrum on this front, let's support them. Maybe their view changes over time, and if not the end of the world that we have to half our music list options. That's a pretty, and I think that's more beautiful than any experience you can get from singing songs in service, is that kind of work. So way to close this out on a great note, Corbin. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, not only here on the pod, but everyone watching. Remember to like and subscribe, smash all the buttons, button mash for the podcast.
Feel the links to all our cool favorite hymn covers in the description.
Yeah, absolutely. And the new CGN Tribe Called Quest Christian cover band is coming. Until next time, guys. See y'all later. Thanks for joining us.